Skin Deep, the Psoriasis Breakthrough. There was a time when psoriasis was dismissed as a mere rash, a cosmetic nuisance rather than a serious disease. But beneath the red, scaly surface lies a deeper story, one of chronic inflammation, immune dysfunction, and lives profoundly disrupted. Before we begin that journey, it's worth pausing to consider the organ at the center of this story: the skin. The skin is the human body's largest organ. It weighs around 8 pounds, stretches over 20 square feet, and acts as the first line of defense against the outside world. It protects us from infection, regulates body temperature, and connects us to our surroundings through touch. But it's also where our inner world becomes visible. When the skin suffers, the whole person suffers, physically, emotionally, and socially. Skin diseases are often dismissed, but they strike at the heart of identity, confidence, and connection. Psoriasis does all that and more. Today, it's recognized as a systemic condition, one that can carry stigma, pain, and risk for other serious illnesses. But it's also a story of scientific discovery, changing mindsets, and breakthrough therapies. This is the story of how a misunderstood skin disease became a proving ground for modern immunology, and how decades of research led to treatments that changed lives. Disorders of the skin have historically been misunderstood. In ancient texts, skin diseases were lumped together: leprosy, eczema, and what we now call psoriasis. For centuries, it was misdiagnosed, mistreated, and misjudged. By the early 20th century, psoriasis was still largely seen as a skin-deep problem. Patients endured coal tar, UV lamps, and isolation. The burden was physical, social, and emotional, but the science hadn't caught up.
People stared. My clothes covered me, but I felt exposed. Doctors said it was just my skin, but it felt like so much more.
And it definitely was more. But it would take new tools, new language, and new science to show the world why. In the 1970s and 80s, researchers began to see that psoriasis was more than a skin condition. It was an immune disorder. Early histology showed immune cells clustering in lesions. Genetic studies revealed inherited risk. One of the turning points came with the discovery of the pSORS1 locus, a gene region associated with the disease. It wasn't just the skin, it was how the immune system talked to it.
What we saw was immune overactivation, cytokines, T cells, keratinocyte hyperproliferation. Psoriasis was an immune-driven disease. We had to rethink everything.
Behind every breakthrough in psoriasis treatment is a team of visionaries: immunologists, clinicians, and what the industry affectionately calls drug hunters. One of them was Dr. Jan Vilcek, a Czech-born scientist who helped pioneer the development of TNF inhibitors. His early work on cytokines led to the co-development of infliximab, the first anti-TNF therapy, which paved the way for drugs like etanercept and adalimumab, both now mainstays in psoriasis care.
We were working on basic immunology. We never imagined that inhibiting TNF would help patients with arthritis, Crohn's, and yes, psoriasis. But once we saw the results, it changed everything.
Vilcek's work, licensed by Centocor and commercialized by Johnson & Johnson, became the foundation for a new therapeutic class. But innovation didn't stop there. As understanding deepened, new targets emerged: TNF-alpha, interleukin-17, interleukin-23, and with them came a new wave of medicine. In the 2010s, researchers like Dr. Georg Schett in Germany and Dr. Kenneth Gordon in the US helped demonstrate the power of targeting IL-17 and IL-23, two cytokines central to the psoriasis inflammatory cascade.
When we blocked IL-17, the results were immediate. Patients responded dramatically. It was the clearest signal we'd ever seen.
Then came a major turning point. In the early 2000s, biologics revolutionized psoriasis care. TNF inhibitors like etanercept and adalimumab changed the game. For the first time, patients saw their plaques vanish. These insights helped companies like Novartis, Lilly, and Janssen launch next-generation biologics with unprecedented clearance rates. The IL-17 and IL-23 inhibitors, secukinumab, ixekizumab, guselkumab, targeted specific pathways in the immune system, offering unprecedented clearance and sustained remission. As dermatologists trying to help psoriasis patients, we went from managing symptoms to achieving full skin clearance. That wasn't even imaginable in the 90s. Clinical trials showed a dramatic shift in how we measure success in psoriasis treatment. At the center of that shift is something called the PASI score, the Psoriasis Area and Severity Index. It quantifies redness, scaling, thickness, and how much of the body is affected. The total score ranges from 0 to 72, with higher scores representing more severe disease. PASI 75 means a 75% reduction in the severity score from baseline. In drug development trials, results began to show PASI 75, then PASI 90, and now even PASI 100, complete lesion resolution, becoming realistic goals. The instruments to confirm change have become standard, but it is the voices of the transformed patients that provide the greatest evidence of progress. The real impact of these therapies isn't found in lab numbers. It's in the lives they changed.
After my first injection, I watched my skin clear week by week. I could wear short sleeves. I could sleep through the night. I felt free.
The new treatments gave people their lives back, but they also raised new questions about cost, access, and equity. These major advances are impressive, but there are global gaps in access and care and ongoing challenges that still need to be addressed. In wealthy countries, biologics became routine, but in many parts of the world, access remained out of reach. The World Health Organization has called attention to the burden of psoriasis as a non-communicable disease, one requiring long-term care, public awareness, and affordability. We need policies, education, and pricing strategies that reflect the global burden of this disease. Even in high-income countries, insurance restrictions, racial disparities, and stigma still shape patient outcomes. Today, psoriasis stands as a case study in translational medicine. From genetics to targeted therapy, from patient voices to global health agendas, it shows what's possible when science listens and acts. New therapies are on the horizon. Oral agents, combination biologics, even immune reset strategies. And researchers are now turning their attention to related diseases, psoriatic arthritis, cardiometabolic risk, and the mind-skin connection.
Psoriasis isn't just a skin disease, it's a window into the immune system, and we're just beginning to see what's on the other side.
From misunderstood rashes to molecular targets, from shame to advocacy, this is the story of how we cracked the code of psoriasis, and how patients, doctors, and scientists transformed suffering into progress. Thank you for listening. If you like this episode, please share and subscribe to Therapeutic Momentum Podcasts.